All right, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. You've requested this list once again, and we've got it for you. Our top 5 competitive games for couples. I'm Mark Maya.
And I'm Brittany.
And this is
Board Game Coffee.
Let's do this.
Get back here this instant!
Thank you. Oh, I love you too. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now we've done our top 5 competitive list before, but people have asked for more. They want more. Why? Because our first list was, how long ago was that, Brittany?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Well, the wait is over. And you know what also wait is over? What we won't be waiting for long is to play the game that we got set up upstairs, because we got our number 1 set up on the table and we want to play. So let's get through this list as fast as possible. Let's do this. What is our number 5 top competitive games for couples?
And our number 5 is Fleet, the dice game. So this game is published by Eagle Griffin Games. It plays for roughly about 30 minutes, and it's 1 to 4 players.
Eagle Griffin, they make good stuff.
They do make
good stuff. So now, Fleet the Dice Game is a roll and write, and don't let the cover fool you. It's great. When we first saw this cover, I believe, Brittany, you'd agree.
Yeah.
It's not the
my
most,
type of game.
No, it looks like a game.
But it is my type of game.
It's such a good game. Well, here's the thing is, somebody told me Fleet the Dice Game is a game about fishing. And I'm like, all right. And then you see the cover and you're like, well, that's pretty intense fishing, but still, it's not like other covers that have turned us off had bad art. This has great art, but it just has like great fishing or action-packed fishing, you know? That's not really selling it to me. But you know what? We were completely wrong. We were both wrong. We judged a box by its cover, and that, Brittany, was a mistake. Mm-hmm. Now, Fleet, the dice game, this is how it plays. It's a roll and write, so you roll and then you write things down. But when you roll, everybody takes chances rolling the die, and then you draft the die, and then you mark it off on your little sheet. And your sheet is broken up into 2 parts. You have your fishing vessels on one side, and you track basically what boats you have in your fleet and what kind of fish or kind of superpowers.
Your licenses.
Yeah, you gain your licenses, which gets you more access to more stuff. And then basically you're building up your superpowers on the one side on one of the sheets. And the other sheet is the harbor. And that's where you got your stores, you got your, like, I think it's the Captain's Club, which lets you fish more often, and there's other special boats there that you can use. There's like a boat where you could store your overload of fish, because if that's the thing, it's so sad if you don't have enough boats but you catch too much fish.
Bye-bye fish.
Bye-bye fish. You lose those fish, and that's so depressing. There's nothing more depressing than having full boats of fish and you can't take in more fish because you got too many and you just gotta put them back. Ugh. But it's such a good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great, and we really like it too because it's small, so we can travel with it. It's great for, we've taken it to the restaurant before or the pub, and we've been able to have a couple drinks while playing this, or eating dinner, and then putting it back in the box and starting it off at home again if we weren't able to finish it at the restaurant.
And here's the thing, you'd use the lid as the dice tray, but we just packed our own little dice tray and just like rolled it out on the table.
Yeah.
But it's great that we could take this to a pub and play it there.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, it's a great competitive game, and why it's number 5 on our list, not because it's our least favorite of the ones on the list, it's such a good game. Mm-hmm. All these games are great, but it's because as far as competitive goes, it is competitive, but we're not interacting with each other as much as some of the other games.
It's more of accumulating points.
Yeah, we're trying to outpoint each other, but there is I could take a die that Brittany wants when I'm drafting the die, but it doesn't have as much as an impact as some of our other games have with the how much I can affect you or how much she can affect me type of thing. Mm-hmm. But Fleet the Dice Game is a fantastic roll and write. If you like roll and writes, you have to. This is probably my favorite roll and write.
Yeah, mine too.
So you have to try Fleet the Dice Game. Do not let this box fool you. We hated the box art. Oh, again, the box art's great. Just the theme threw us off, but now we're in love, and we knew we were fools. Now we're fools in love. Huh? Look what I did there.
That's good.
Okay.
Okay, let's find out what our number 4 is.
Our number 4.
And our number 4 is
Sagani.
Sagani is a 1 to 4 player game. It plays for roughly 45 minutes, and it's a tile laying pattern game.
Pattern building game.
pattern building game.
So here's the thing about Sagani. It is super easy to teach. Any new players, welcome. This is for you. If you aren't a couple, but you are the gamer and your partner, your wife, husband, just whatever, whoever they are not into games, or they're maybe a little standoffish, a little intimidated about it, try Sagani. It's not much harder to teach than like a game of tic-tac-toe.
I feel like Sagani is going to be one of the new gateway games for people who don't play a lot of board games, but still really intellectually stimulating for people who do.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, Sagani is number 4 because it does have, like, I can interact with. I can screw you over more than I can in Fleet because I can take a tile that you want. Because basically Sagani is, you take a tile out of 5, you place it in front of you, and the next player takes a tile, places it in front of them. And you're just building tiles and laying tiles and building patterns to score points. Mm-hmm. And it's so good, and it's so easy to learn and teach. And the thing is, if you're a new player, you're gonna love it. It's got some great strategy there. If you're like a veteran, seasoned board gamer, you're gonna love it because it's so good. It's Uwe Rosenberg. Yeah. Uwe brought this out.
And if any one of you like Azul, you probably will like this game as well.
Yeah, I could see this for the Azul crowd, but it's a lot easier to learn than Azul.
I think so too, yeah.
It's a lot easier to learn than Azul, and it's got the same kind of like strategic hook. Like, I want to try to beat you and outdo you. And thing is, you can come up from behind in Sagani and win. So if you think you're losing, you can be in like last place and last few turns kind of like zip, 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 and get a bunch of points and pass your competition. And it never feels like you're being cheated. Yep. It feels well earned.
Yep. Agreed. Okay.
So Sagani, if you got a new person in your relationship, you're trying to gateway them into board games, give this a go. But if you're both board gamers already and you're looking for a good competitive challenge,
this is still a good game.
This is fantastic. All right, Brittany, let's take them to our number 3.
And our number 3 is Unmatched, Battle of Legends. So this game was published by Restoration Games and Mondo Games, and it plays 2 to 4 players and roughly 20 to 40 minutes.
Now, Unmatched is a really, it's a bare bones but great arena battling game. Actually, you know what? I take back the bare bones. I take that back. It is a smaller arena combat game compared to some of the bigger ones that are out there, but it's easy to get into because it's got this, each character has got their own deck, and each character plays very different. But here's the hook, here's the thing about Unmatched. You get to play in the core box, you get to play as Medusa, King Arthur, Alice, or Sinbad. That's right, Alice from like Alice in Wonderland. She's got a power where she can get big and she can get small. And the thing is, you can pair up like Medusa versus King Arthur, or Alice versus Sinbad, or whatever. You can come up with whatever crazy combinations you want. We have 2 expansions of the earlier ones. We got Robin Hood
and Bruce Lee.
We got Robin Hood and Bigfoot, and the Bruce Lee one is separate. And the Robin Hood and Bigfoot come in the same package. You can play that like on its own, or you can combine it with this. But we do have the Bruce Lee one right here. The Bigfoot one is around here somewhere. And Bruce Lee is an awesome character. And each character comes with their own mini. They come with their own deck of cards, and some of them come with minions. Like Medusa has like 2 or 3 harpies or whatever they are. And they help you out on the battlefield. So it's like, everybody takes turns playing cards, moving their characters, take turns playing cards, and trying to attack each other. And it's a last man standing scenario.
And what I really appreciate about this game is the characters really feel different. So they each have a different ability, and you really feel that in the theme of the game, which I like.
For sure.
And the art in this game is amazing.
Oh, whoo, yeah. That would have been an oversight not to mention it. The art is so good. And Brittany nailed it. The characters play so different. And here's the thing. Brittany is not an arena combat person. That's not her jam. That's fine. So we don't play a lot of those together. I usually play those with Chris. So that's why you don't see a lot of those on our couples list. But Brittany did like Unmatched. And because she could play with characters she likes. And there's more expansions. There's so many more expansions for this. Like, you're interested in the Jurassic Park expansion. I'm interested in the Cobble and Fog, where you can play with like the Invisible Man, Dracula, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
That one's really cool.
That sounds awesome.
I want to play with Sherlock Holmes.
And you want to combine them. Like I want Sherlock Holmes versus like a Velociraptor. I want to see him. Who's smarter? Clever girl. That's what I want to. That's what I imagine. It's the clever girl versus Sherlock, and it's going to be wicked. So yeah, basically the board you play on is fairly small. Like it's the box is big, but it's very portable. Like it sets up. It's got a small footprint. And it's great. It's really good. We've traveled with this before and played it in like cottages, etc. Really good to get into. If you're looking for an arena combat game that's like not as heavy as some of the others, but so fun and great strategy, check out Unmatched Battle of Legends. What was that, our number 3?
Yep. Let's find out what our number 2 is.
Oh, you're in for a treat. All right, now our number 2 has also made it onto one of another list. It was one of our most anticipated games for 2021. But here's the thing, we have the prototype. So lucky us, we got to play it way more than enough to make it on this list. Because it's a deck building game, and we fell in love with it. And that game is...
Power Rangers, the deck building game.
Yeah, actually, it's Power Rangers deck building game.
Sorry, I put in the.
No.
Scratch that.
Just the. Scratch the. But Power Rangers, the deck building game. It's what? 2 to 4 players?
2 to 4 players, and it's published by Renegade.
And Power Rangers is great. Here's the thing. It's great even if you don't like Power Rangers. Because I'm too old for Power Rangers.
And I'm not, but Power Rangers was definitely something I grew up with, but I still was like, I'm over Power Rangers. However, this game is awesome, and I feel sad that even crossed my mind and made me for a second be like, if I wanted to play it or not. But then we found out the designer designed...
Heavy Hitters and DC deck building game.
And we love those games.
Yeah.
So we were actually pretty excited to get it to the table once we found that.
Yeah, when I found out, I was like, Brittany, do you know who designed this?
Yeah.
And then, because DC deck building game made it on our first top 5 competitive list. And Heavy Hitters... We have a review for it. It's one of our first reviews, and we have a how to play. We loved Heavy Hitters.
Yeah.
So when we found out that's who made it, I was like, well, this looks good. And I started reading the rule book, and I was like, Brittany, you're going to like this. And she was so like, And then we played it, loved it.
Yeah,
loved it. And what's great is the 2 sides play completely different. Like, the same enough as in we both play cards for shards to buy cards that are on the table.
And we have to equip our characters with certain... cards in order to get their abilities, and then we also have our hand.
Or you evolve your characters.
Yeah.
So you equip them to get new abilities Here's the thing. Everybody has a character card in front of them. So it's got your basic deck building things where like you're drawing cards, you're playing it. In this case, the currency is like shards or energy. You use shards to buy other cards. And energy you use to trigger abilities on those cards. Mm-hmm. Thing is, unlike other deck building games, energy goes with you from round to round. You store it up. And you keep it. You don't empty it. You don't drain it at the end of every round. The shards you do. But you're building your deck, so it's got that deck building element. But what's different is you don't just use the card for its ability. If you want to use the card for its ability, you got to equip it to your character. If you equip it, then you're not getting the shards out of it. So you gotta ask yourself, do you want the ability by equipping to the character? Or do you want the shards and the energy from it?
Yeah.
Because usually the better the ability, the better the shards and the energy it gives. So you're like, oh. And then as the Power Rangers, you have your teenager side and you have your Power Ranger side. So they morph. And the teenager side will have like an ability like these cards are cheaper or whatever. Every teenager has a different ability. And every Ranger has a different ability. And their abilities are improved on the Power Ranger side based on which cards you've equipped to them. And that's the thing, each Power Ranger can have different cards equipped to them. Mm-hmm. And each Power Ranger has their Zords, their big robot, which you can collect to make like the Megazord or the Super Dragon Megazord. I forgot what that one's called. But that's great, and they're really powerful, but they're hard to get. Mm-hmm. And then the enemy, actually, I always play the good guy, so I'll let Brittany talk about the enemy.
And I always play the villain. And I love calling on my villain friends. So I think that's really cool about the villains. Like, you start off pretty powerful, and you're basically calling all your villain friends to come help you, and your power is actually accumulated over time. So they're always there once you start to get these abilities. And I do think, the equipping of the cards, and I know I mentioned that earlier, is a really cool aspect of the game because it will change as the game changes and how your opponent is playing their cards. So I really like that element of the game. And I actually find, even though I'm always playing as the villain, I still feel like there's a lot of variety in this game because it's all dependent on what cards are coming up and if I'm comboing those cards properly or not.
Yeah, because each character has different abilities, and then the who you're matched up against changes your experience.
Yeah.
So you could be playing Rita, and I'll be playing Tommy. The next round you'll be playing Goldar, and I'll be playing Kim.
Yeah.
Or Kim, Kelly,
changes.
Trini. I can't remember all their names anymore right now.
Yeah.
But depending who you're playing with and the combinations of players, you can get totally different experiences, and the game keeps going back and forth. Like good guy wins, bad guy wins, good guy wins, bad guy wins. We've had so many great games of Power Rangers, the deck building game, that I didn't like Power Rangers, but now I'm reading the comic books and I'm just plowing through and I can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter if you don't like Power Rangers. If you like deck building games, if you're looking for a good deck building combat game, this. And they do a great job of making you feel like the Power Rangers. I know enough about the Power Rangers that when I played this, I was like, I feel like I'm playing a Power Rangers game.
Yeah.
It feels like Power Rangers. Great job, fantastic job, and it's easy to pick up. It's not overly complicated, and it's great. Great. If you like deck building, combat, check out Power Rangers. Do yourself a favor. I think I've said it before, it's great.
So let's find out what our number one is.
Ooh, wait.
And our number one is...
Oh, again, before I bring it up, I gotta put it down here a little bit. Here's our number one. Here's the thing, our number one is an oldie. It's been around for a long time. I think I bought it when we started dating.
Yeah.
So I bought it a long time ago, and it's new for us. It's been sitting on our shelf of shame for 6 years, or however long it's been out. And that game is Blood Rage. That's right, it's been sitting right here, this hole. If you've been paying attention, this hole is missing. That's where Blood Rage was. It fits right in there perfectly. There you go. It's been sitting there on our shelves. We have so many shelves. It's been sitting everywhere. We've never played it. We only got to play it very recently, but it made it on our list right away because we played it back to back to back to back to back, and we freaking loved it.
And I may have gotten a little ragey.
Oh, that's what made me smile. Brittany hasn't been that angry in a long time.
Breathe.
It was great. I'm giddy. And I was she was getting so mad, and I was smiling because she's dead serious angry. And it made me laugh, which made her angrier. And it was great because that's a sign of a great game. Terraforming Mars does that to you. There's a few others.
I don't get radio for a lot, but Blood Rage definitely brought out my rage.
It did. Blood Rage brought out your rage. And it's fan freaking tastic. So we found
it really is a battling game.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's a card drafting strategic combat game, but combat is not. It's not like combat it's not a battle arena game like Unmatched, because you basically have a bunch of cards and you use your cards to kind of you want to take over territories or enter territories to pillage their village to get stat upgrades to your clan board, which will help you improve what you can do, and it also gives you more points if you get those stats up high enough. And this whole thing is about you win battles to get points. You increase your stats to get points. You get points if you die during Ragnarok, because the story behind this is you're all Vikings and Ragnarok's coming and you want to go out in a ball or flame of something of glory. You want all the glory things. You want to go up in a flame of glory, and you want to earn your way into Valhalla. And you get points for dying. How many games are there you get points for dying? And we're all racing because you know the part that's going to explode on the map. And we all racing to get there to explode. And we actually played one a few games with Chris. And so we played some 3-player games. It still plays excellent 3 players.
Yeah, it plays awesome.
Great at 2, excellent at 3. And me and Chris were fighting over this one area that was going to blow up. So we were going to get all these bonus Valhalla or like Ragnarok points. And then Brittany brings out, this isn't the character that's in the base box. I bought some extra things when Simon opened up their vault. So I bought this, was the Fernin, some big doggy wolf thing.
It's the wolf
Yeah.
mini.
And you say mini, but it's one of the biggest pieces of the board. But she put it on the board, and its power is the new target for Ragnarok is wherever that dog is. And me and Chris on the other side of the map being like, because she did too late.
Brittany, you gonna get in on this? No, thank you.
Because the thing is, she had all her characters there, and the wolf was the last one, so we couldn't even move in to do anything. She did it so like just before Ragnarok, and basically stole all those points.
Suckers.
But she still lost.
I did.
Sucker. But in Blood Rage, it's cool because you get like 4 warriors, 1 leader, and a boat. And then you can recruit monsters, and they're all called upgrades. There's monster upgrades, leader upgrades, warrior upgrades, ship upgrades, and clan upgrades. Mm-hmm. And I want to get through this review as fast as possible, this top 5, so we can go play more. It's set up on the table right now. I set up for 2 players. I can't wait to go. But it's so good. The card drafting, Brittany. Sorry, I'm taking over this conversation.
No, that's okay.
Go. Tell us about your Blood Rage experience.
I just didn't play well because I wasn't paying attention in one of the games, and I may have gotten a little ragey. And then when you were trying to be nice, which didn't sound sincere, I may have gotten a little ragey. But you know what? A lot of people, just to go back to how old this game is and how we're kind of late to it. A lot of people have been making fun of us for years, saying, "Oh no, you haven't played Blood Rage," and I now understand, because even though I lost and got really ragey and maybe a little too upset, I still really enjoyed this game and wanted to play again.
Well, here's the thing. Blood Rage is part of the series, right? It's like a trilogy of games. Blood Rage, Rising Sun, and Ankh, which is not out yet. Now, Rising Sun, we loved Rising Sun.
Yeah.
This, if you're familiar with Rising Sun, Blood Rage is so much simpler.
I like it.
It's so condensed, but it's like a tight strategy game. Like it does not have any like extra stuff, fiddly bits you don't need. It's just like hardcore strategy, deck drafting goodness. And it is a deck drafter. That's like, or a card drafting game, not deck drafting. It's a card drafting game, because every turn everybody starts with 8 cards and you pass it around the table. Everybody takes their cards, and the first round you're like, okay, that seems cool. And then as soon as you do the next drafting phase, you're like, can't let Brittany get that. Can't get Chris get that. But in a 2-player game, you'd actually take 2 cards at once instead of just 1. So you start hate drafting, and I hate doing that, and I don't. I like stopping her, but I'm conflicted because I don't want those cards, but I don't want her to have them more. So I take them, and they don't necessarily work. So you got to balance your hate. You got to balance and control your rage. It's very important when playing Blood Rage. But you look at this box and it seems pretty intense, right?
Yeah.
You think like a game like this, maybe your spouse, your significant other would not going to be interested because it looks so hardcore. But it's such pure strategy in it that if this isn't your thing, get over this. Just get over this. This is my thing. I love this. And it comes with cool minis. Because it's from Simon. And it's so good. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
So good. So what I really like about this game too is you can build your character out differently depending on how your cards are.
Or your clan out differently.
The monsters really play a huge difference in the game as well, depending on which monsters you can actually get and which ones work with the cards that you have and if you can afford them. So I like that aspect of the game. I thought it added like an extra level.
I like the monsters are great. The monsters you can see where Rising Sun kind of got some ideas from, because Rising Sun there's a bunch of monsters with different powers, but these ones seem like they take effect faster.
Right away, yeah.
Where in Rising Sun, amazing monsters, amazing game. This is just as amazing. Like the fact that we just played this game and we put it on our top 5 list. Because we were wondering, like, how are we going to finish off our top 5 competitive list? And then we played this and we're like, I think we got our number 1. We got our number 5. So then we just rushed down here and played Blood Rage. So, and again, this is what we have. And then later I have 3 extra monsters that I bought separately from this. Mm-hmm. This is just the core. It's not I didn't get in on the Kickstarter for this. And it's great. Just that core is fantastic. fantastic. It's so good. And I feel like I've been missing out on these years of not playing.
Battling it out.
Yeah, but it's so good. And the thing is, unlike Rising Sun, which is like a big sprawling 3-hour like commitment, you can play a game of Blood Rage in 45 minutes or 60 minutes.
Hour.
Yeah, about an hour-ish. Like once you know how to play, you start
Yeah.
recognizing the cards. You're like
Yeah.
boom, 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 and you know what can happen. You know what other people can do. Well, you don't know what's in their hand. You don't know what they can do. But you know, like I can pillage this space, and you can't come here because you're over there.
Yeah.
And those are something you pick up in your second game. Your second
Yep.
game, you're like,
Yep.
done, pillaged, points,
Agreed.
gold. All right, well, that was it for our top 5 competitive games for couples. That's our second video focused on competitive games for couples. We hope you enjoyed it, and all these games are freaking fantastic. And there's so much variety in all of them. Like we tried to really give you a mix too. We gave you like a roll and write, a colorful, super easy tile laying game. We gave you like an easy like entry-level battle arena game with Unmatched. You got a deck building game with Power Rangers, and then you got your like not hard to get into, but like your intense, super tight Blood Rage card drafting strategy. Oh, it's so good. Like there is so much variety in all these. There's got to be something in here for someone. So if you're a couple, like we're a couple, and you're looking for a game to beat on each other with, any of these ones are fantastic. And if you don't like any of these, check out our first video. Also fantastic. And that's it from Board Game Coffee. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you like this video and you want to see more, subscribe to our channel. It's the best way to keep up to date with everything we do here at Board Game Coffee. But if you want to see more right now, we got plenty of videos to choose from. And if that's not enough, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm Mark Maya, and this is Board Game Coffee. And remember, have fun, keep gaming, be social. See you next week.